Come on in here. Where y'all at? I know it's late, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk my talk with y'all real quick. I figured I'd come on live since I haven't done a live video in forever. Oh, so the reason I titled this live video, am I wrong for this or not? Is because I felt the need to protect my peace and block a relative of mine. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this on any of my other videos on YouTube, but I recently connected with a relative, a long lost relative, I might add, who I haven't seen since childhood. And she's back home in Texas. She lives in the Houston area. She's a sweet old black lady in her 80s, but her mind ain't all there. Her mind is gone. I hate to say it. I think she has a little bit of dementia or something. Something is definitely off. And I know the last time I checked, she was working in one of those assisted living homes or whatever. Never been married, no children, whatever. But when I say she became a nuisance in my ASS, I ain't gonna lie, she really has. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, for the past 3 or 4 days now, she's been randomly calling my phone, which I don't mind. The first time she called me, I want to say it was like on a Friday or a Saturday. I can't remember what day she called me. She left me an extremely long voicemail. She was like, "Hi, Daphne. How are you doing? It's Aunt Lynn. Da 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 da. I haven't seen you in so long. What are you up to? Making real. What have you been doing? Okay, I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye." So I was just like, that was weird because she'll never leave me no voicemails. I'm assuming this lady is off her meds. I don't know, but she don't never leave me no voicemails. Like when I say I rarely hear from her, it's very seldom I hear from her, especially on the weekend. So I didn't think nothing of it. I said, I'm not calling this cuckoo lady back because she's going to keep me on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours because she ain't got nothing else better to do. And I get it. Older people, are lonely or whatever. I understand. But anyway, um, long story short, I dropped a reel like she asked me to. Hello, hello, welcome in. I'm doing good. How you doing? And when I dropped my reel on Facebook, because y'all know old folks love Facebook, I said, "This message is for my Aunt Lynn, blah, blah, blah." She asked me to drop a reel to see what I'm doing, and I've been doing absolutely nothing. I just kept it straight. I just said, screw it. I'm going to tell her like it is, say what's on my mind, but in a nice way. I'm going to give you the PG-13 version instead of the rated R version of what I really want to tell her ass because she's older. I always been taught to respect my elders since a young age, but, it is what it is. Hold on 1 second. Somebody said, "You are loved by many people, and I hope you continue with what you do. Never let anyone let you down. Live your fullest and continue your dreams." Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. How thoughtful. This story, if you're just tuning in, welcome to my live. Normally, I'm not on here like this, but I felt like I needed to get some things off my chest. This story is about a long lost relative who I have no real connection to whatsoever. She's actually my father's older sister. She's like in her late 80s. I don't know exactly how old she is. She's not all there. Her mind is completely gone. It's mush. Like, she's so far behind, she thinks people like Marvin Gaye are still alive. Like, it's really sad. But she's a sweet old black lady, and she's like one of those elderly people, that lives in an assisted living. But I was just telling y'all like how she's becoming a pester and a nuisance in my ASS. So anyway, oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. So anyway, I'm gonna continue with my little story. Hold on. So after the first voicemail, I did what she asked me to. I dropped a reel, a little video, because she asked me what I've been up to in my personal life. And I said, absolutely nothing. I just been sleeping, DoorDash, sleeping, DoorDash. I said, as you can see, my life is falling apart. There, you got it. You got your answer. I don't know what you want me to say. And then I put another clip on that same video and I said, oh, I'm just kidding. I said, but on a serious note, sometimes we young adults that are in our late 30s and early 40s like me don't want to be bothered and we don't want to pick up the damn phone. I'm going to be honest. I literally said it in a nicer way though, but in the ghetto way, the hood way, the way I wanted to say it, nigga, I don't feel like picking up the goddamn phone. I understand you're lonely. I understand you have nobody. I get it. It sucks. But at the same token, respect my peace. Learn how to use some boundaries. That's the problem with old folks. I hate to say it. But a lot of old people, not all, but most of them that are not in their right mind, don't know how to respect other people's boundaries. And it's sad because they think, oh, she's young, she's up, she's partying all hours of the day, when it's not true. I have a life. Even though I don't have a family and I don't have kids or nothing, I have a life too, nigga. Like, I like to be unbothered. That's the point. I like to be unbothered, minding my own black owned business and chilling. Sometimes I watch Netflix, sometimes I watch Tubi. I just finished watching a Tubi movie a minute ago before I came on live. But anyway, back to the story. So after I dropped the video, she called me like the next day. And I was just like, oh my God, what is wrong with this woman? So like when she called me like the next day, she was just like, hi Daphne, I saw your video. You got me pumped up and energized. Blah, 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 blah. And she just left a long, drug out, random message about her stuff, talking about she got Zumba Saturday morning at 10 a.m. She's got church on Sunday, going to Easter Sunday. You know how black folks are, they're going to Easter Sunday and shit. But I'm just like, look, that's cool and all, but I really don't give a damn. Like, my life is down the toilet. It's so far down the toilet. I don't give a fuck if the world is on fire right now. I really don't. But that's where I am. Like I have problems too. That's all I got to say. All I got to say is that I love my aunt dearly. However, when you become a pester and you become a nuisance in my ASS, I have to just block you from this point. So the third phone call, she left another voice message. Hey, Daphne, it's Aunt Lynn. I know you're busy. I've been trying to get a hold of you. What are you up to? She was repeating herself. And it's so sad, when you can see like the bullshit unfolding, you could tell like they're not all there. And she used to not be this way. So I don't know, like I said, she's off her rocker, if she's off her meds, but she's definitely off of something. And the last time I checked, she had some kind of a brain surgery over 10 or 15 years ago, and she was in a nut house for a little bit. So I'm not surprised she's doing doo-doo-doo up here. But anywho, the voicemails don't bother me. What bothered me was how she just started randomly stalking my page on Facebook. I don't mind when people follow me, comments, leave a nice little remark. But when you are so stalkerish where you look at every photo, every story I post, when I share other people's reels that aren't even mine, she's gotten so chaotic this week to the point where she thinks that the reels that I'm sharing on Facebook are actually me, and she thinks that I'm taking these random trips around the world. It's so sad. Like, she thought I was in Japan the other day, and I was just like, that's not my video. And then she got crazy in the comments. See, now when she got buck in the comments, I said, okay, I gotta stop this bullshit. I just never replied back to her. I just deleted each comment. Like, for example, I dropped a picture of my soul food picture with the catfish, the mac and cheese, and the sweet potato yams. Because, I was being a big Mac, I wanted to go out and venture out downtown and go get me some soul food. Well, this wench, I'm gonna call her wench, decided to comment and said, "You're gonna gain weight if you keep eating that stuff. That's not healthy." Blah blah blah. I said, "Okay, I understand your concern, but you don't have to tell me that I'm gonna gain weight when I'm already a big back. It's not a secret. You can clearly see I'm hefty. Why would you comment this shit on somebody's page?" Like silly shit like that. And then if it wasn't that, it was stuff like the last comment. Oh, that one threw me all the way off. She saw a reel that I shared from TikTok, because I share a lot of TikTok sometimes on my page, of like an AI video. You know how them fake ass AI videos come on with Trump, Elon, and Kanye, and like doing slave labor, but AI version. And she was just like, "Don't be sending me no more Trump videos. I don't like this man. You got it." And I was just like, "Oh." I was just like, this old lady fussing at me over an AI video that's not even real. And she was assuming, or in her mind, she was thinking all the videos she saw on my page were me sending them directly to her, not realizing when you're friends on Facebook with somebody, you're gonna get every notification that about your friend's posts. And I tried to explain that to her. I said, "Well, you realize I'm not sending you none of my videos, right? You're just merely scrolling my page, being a fucking nosy. And then you're being an a-hole on top of that by commenting on every little thing that I post that has nothing to do with you. This is my page that you're commenting on." So then she was like, "Oh, I don't understand how iPhone works, blah, blah, blah." Trying to blame it on technology. Okay, whatever. And I told her, I said, if you don't want to see the stuff that I post, it's not a big deal. All you have to do is go to your notification settings and just turn off the notifications. That's it. If you don't want to see certain things from certain people, block them. Shit, I don't know what to tell you. So, oh, she's in her 80s. She's up there. She's like, I think 84, 83, somewhere around there. It's like, some days she's wishy-washy. She's nice. She's pleasant. I think she's extremely bipolar. I think that's her problem. And then the next day, she's like, ah, just going off about the littlest shit that has nothing to do with her or me. I was just like, if you're going off about random AI videos, I can't have you fucking with me no more. So after the fourth voicemail on my phone, again, I had to block her from my phone because she got on my damn nerves. This woman was calling me in the middle of the night, like at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, not realizing she's an hour behind me. The time zone difference is huge. Even though we're an hour apart, I'm on the East Coast. She's central, she's south. Bitch, if it's 10 o'clock over here, it's 9 o'clock over there. Why are you calling me past 10 o'clock? That's all I got to say. Like, don't be calling me in the middle of the night and leaving me random voicemails. And I said, as much as I want to lay this old lady out and tell her a piece of my mind, not knowing that she's not all there and she's not going to understand anyway, I just said, I'm just going to block her on all platforms. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up blocking her from my phone, and then I ended up blocking her from Facebook. I hated to do it, but I was just like, I don't care, blood or no blood, nobody, and I mean nobody, should be stalking your page so bad to the point where not only do they comment and say nasty things on your page that are irrelevant to you, but then you say nasty things on Messenger. So she was like double tapping, not realizing, bitch, I see your comments. You don't have to send me a message on Messenger every time you see a video on my page. Like, I'm not sending you these videos. And this is how I knew she was off the wheels. When she would comment, she would be like, I'm on the phone with the electric company right now. I gotta go. And I was just like, what is she talking about? She don't understand, like, I'm not sending these videos directly to you. You're only seeing them because we're friends on Facebook. And I was like, ay, ay, ay. I said, I can't. I said, block. That's why I titled again this live. Am I wrong for this or not? What do y'all think? Do y'all think I was wrong for blocking her? Even though she's a blood relative. In my opinion, I feel like it's a form of protecting my peace because the old Daphne, the gangster Daphne, old Ironside Daphne, the one you don't want to see come out, I would have unraveled and unleashed on her old ass so bad I probably would have gave her a heart attack. But wasn't going to do that because I know better. Because the minute I would have unraveled on her and said what the fuck I really want to say to her, I would have heard it from my dad because she would have called my dad back home. Then my dad would have called me. Then my mama would have called me telling me how much of an asshole I am. Don't disrespect your elders, blah, 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 blah. But again, it goes back to that point of protecting your peace. Would you rather protect your peace and not say nothing and block them and move on? Or would you rather get buck with them and then have half of your family members fussing right back at you, talk about disrespecting your elders? So I didn't want no smoke from either side. I just said, fuck it, I'm just blocking her. I don't care. Because as much as I love my relatives, I'm gonna be honest, don't none of them, and I mean none of them, give a flying fuck about my ass. They don't. And I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of them that I've known growing up as a child, now as an adult, it's weird. It's like they're trying to build a relationship with me, but they've never had a real relationship with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but if you guys ever had a relative or a long lost relative who you really don't know shit about at all, but you only known them through childhood because you were introduced to them from another relative, it's like, what are you supposed to say to that? Like, here's my thing. I haven't seen her since I was 10 years old, okay? And that's none of my either. That's, you know, my parents and them falling out, not getting along with kinfolk. You know how black folks are. Black folks always falling out and shit, not getting along with people. But when they get old and gray and they realize nobody wants to fuck with them no more, now it's like, oh, we all want to be one big happy family. We want to get together. We want to be nosy and see what our nieces and our nephews are up to and get in their life and start poking around. That's how I feel now as an adult. I'm 37 years old. I mean, I'm damn near 40. At this point in my life, I'm like this. If you talk to me, you talk to me. If you don't talk to me, it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. I'm grown. Everybody else is grown. I have my own life to live. I have my own problems to go through. Put it that way. But at the end of the day, don't come over here with no bullshit, especially bothering me in the middle of the night randomly on different times and different days of the week, knowing I actually have a life. I may not be working a 9 to 5. I may not have a full-time job, but I still have a life. Yes, I still do things. I'm not a bum. Like, motherfuckers act like because I don't have the big house or the white picket fence or the family, the husband, the kids, I'm just some loser and I'm just, some bum that ain't got shit going on because I'm not retired and I'm not living the dream or I'm not a millionaire. Like, no, it's not even like that. The thing is that what people fail to realize is that material things don't mean shit. Okay? It's about the principle of being, you know, being within yourself. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about inner peace. I am at peace. I want to keep myself at peace. I have no chaos in my life. Okay? I never asked for chaos. I've never had, um, baby daddy drama, nothing like that, because I ain't got no kids, one. And then two, it's just like, I stay to myself. I don't bother nobody. So why are random motherfuckers, especially family members who I don't associate with at all, bothering my black ass? That's the magical question I need somebody to answer. Why are you bothering my unbothered black ass? That's the question you need to ask people, because I feel like if you have somebody, family member or non-family member, that's bothering you out of the blue, you ain't seen the motherfuckers for years. I'm talking like 20, 30 plus years, and you're a grown ass adult. You have no relationship with them. They've had no contact with you since you were a kid. Like, how do you respond to that? Like, I can understand, if somebody was in my life, like, I'm not saying they gotta be the whole time, but if you had some type of contact, if you stayed in touch with me, okay, I understand. We might have more of a clearer understanding. I might be a little bit nicer. I might be more understanding. But when I've been so cut off from the rest of the world because I'm so far removed from half of the family members I don't even associate with, it's like, what do you do? All I can do is block ass. Block ass and live in peace. That's all I got to say. Block them and move on with your life, because it gets easier. And see, I used to feel guilty, once upon a time in my 20s when I blocked people and I befriended them. And I said, well, I'm going to refriend them and see if they change a couple of years later. And it's the same bullshit. No. Once you block a person, you keep their asses blocked. It's not the same thing. I'm going to tell y'all right now, like, even when I had a so-called quote-unquote friend of mine that I used to deal with years ago when I lived in Killeen, Texas, it's a shithole outside of a military base in, like, Central Texas. We were cool at one point, but I always felt like she was always jealous, like, of me, and I never understood why, because she was dark skinned, tall, chocolate, very pretty, always wore hair weaves in her head, sew-ins and braids and shit. But the thing that got me, what I never got about her, is that she was super insecure, super materialistic, and we had nothing really in common. The fact that I was just simply being a friend to her, I thought she was just a cool person to hang with, because I really didn't have nobody to, chill with at that time when I lived in Killeen Temple area. So anyway, long story short, I kicked it with her on occasion, in these little shithole hole-in-the-wall clubs out there in, like, these little towns nearby, like Hearn, Texas, middle of nowhere, another shithole town. And, like, we've never, like, did anything fun. Like, when I come to realize, like, looking in the past of what I used to do when I hung out with this chick, we never did anything like fun at all. Like, in my opinion, I don't feel like going to the strip club is fun. I've been there, I've done that. I partied myself out during my military days. I don't care about the club. I don't care about the strip clubs. That shit is not fun. Hell, I don't even care about the damn hookah clubs. You know where my club is? The house. Mi casa. That's my club. And you know what I do? Netflix and chill. Stars. Hulu. Tubi. Like, that's the club in today's world. But she was like, I don't know how to explain it, but she was just one of those chicks that always wanted to, like, go to these random hole-in-the-wall spots, shake a tail feather, wear these skimpy-ass clothes, like she's still stuck in the 2000s. And I'm looking at her like, who are you trying to impress? And why are you wearing half-naked clothing in public and you're 30-something years old? I said, I understand you want to look sexy, you want to attract these men, and I don't know what you're looking for, or if you're, trying to get money out of them, but more power to you. But, like, everywhere we went, she was just like, wear these outlandish outfits. And I'm just looking at her crazy. Like, you realize I'm the only person covered and you're the only one that's not covered. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those sayings like you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You know, it's just one of those things. That's how I felt. I felt like she was the hoe of the group that would never probably turn into a housewife, unfortunately. And I wish her nothing but, wellness and prosperity. But at the end of the day, I had to block her ass too. She was just one of those people that couldn't wrap her head around the fact that even though I'm the big girl and, I'm the big back of the group, and I still had more game and still pulled more motherfuckers than her, she couldn't understand why. Because she was just like, how would you get more numbers than me? Oh my God, I don't understand. You're not even dressed. She would be like them type of people. She would always clown on me, make fun of my clothing, telling me I wasn't dressed to impress nobody. Like, I don't know. It was just one of those things where I just felt like, okay, you're a hater and it's showing. All right, we clearly know that you have a problem. And I don't know if it's because she has something against big back women or what, but she felt like because she was the skinniest of them all in the group and she was the prettiest of them all, she should have been the one pulling the numbers. She should have been the one rolling the game, da 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 da, and so forth. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault. I don't stand like a statue on the wall and stare at people like most of the Negroes do back home. Like, you still got grown men going in these little hole in the wall clubs, standing on the wall like statues, not saying nothing to women, looking around the room, trying to read the room. And then it's just like everybody's on their phones. Like, that shit's not entertaining to me. That's not fun. Ooh, I want to be on my phone all day. Let me get on the gram. Let me get on, YouTube or whatever. And it's just like you're out. You're in a club. Interact with people. I never understood that notion why people just stand against the wall and just look at people crazy and don't say shit. Like, hi, how you doing? Like, make conversation. I don't know what to tell you. Shit. But anyway, moral of the story is, if you come across a bird brain motherfucker, like I came across plenty of them in my time, and they want to try to outdo you and put you down and make themselves feel good because they're miserable about their little salty, crusty ass, dusty ass lives, block them and move on. If they don't have nothing positive to say, every time you see them and you share your good news or you share your positivity and they try to dim your light, leave them in the dust. That's all you got to do. Leave them in the dust and don't look back. Because I've been there, done that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Hey, Matthew, how you doing? Good evening. I'm surprised you up. What you doing up so late? Listening to me ramble and shit. But, yeah, I feel so relieved. In case you missed it, I was rambling about one of my long lost relatives who I really don't have a relationship with that kept getting on my nerves and kept stalking my pages and stuff. I had to block her. That's why I titled this live. Am I wrong for this or nah? Am I wrong for blocking an 80-something-year-old black woman that's not in her right mind, that keeps running off the mouth saying crazy shit on my page for everyone to see, and then blowing up my phone, leaving me random long voicemails and saying the same shit over and over? Am I wrong? That's the biggest question I have. Because I don't feel like I'm wrong. I feel like it was the best method to protect my peace. It was the best method to protect my peace. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, problem solved. Check. I mean, it's just like, we are in 2025. We are not in 1955 anymore. People act like, we have to mute ourselves when it comes to certain topics or when it comes to certain people, and we are not holier than thou, so we shouldn't be saying certain things on the internet. But I'm just like, people are out here twerking half naked and shit, doing way worse shit than what I'm doing. And you want to get mad at me for sharing random TikToks that are not my videos, by the way. Just funny videos. I would share like memes and like, like travel videos. You know how people on TikTok be sharing their little vacations on the islands and shit. Shit like that. And my aunt really thought I was traveling. She really thought that was me. She really thought I was just out here living my best life, twerking and shaking ass and shit. I'm just like, that ain't me. But anywho, I just thought I'd share that with you guys and let y'all know. Don't let nobody, family member or non-family member, I'm so serious, disturb you from your peace. Don't let them do it because it's going to make you miserable. Because as much as you want to blast their ass and unleash and say all types of whatever against them, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm trying to tell you. What did she say? I would block her from social media, but just check on her here and there. But I found out in life, you do have to let people know how you feel and step away a bit. Exactly. Thank you, DTC Love. Shout out to DTC Love for that comment. They're absolutely right. Sometimes you just have to block them and move on. And I've already done that. I already did. Oh, I did that tonight. I said, it's one thing, like I said, I don't mind you calling my phone, leaving sweet messages and asking me how I'm doing. And you want to be nosy and pry into my personal life, even though you don't know shit about me. But it's another thing when you on Facebook, because all the old folks is on Facebook. Don't nobody be on Instagram, unfortunately. And then they like climbing in your messenger, sending you random messages on top of commenting on your posts, telling you they don't want to see certain things. You got it. Okay. I don't want to see this. Well, bitch, if you don't want to see it, block me. Well, better yet, let me do it for you. I blocked you instead. That way you don't have nothing else to whine about, nothing else to yell about. And it is so sad. I feel so bad for her. She's a sweet black lady. She really is. But her mind is gone. And it's like, what do you say to that? It's like, I'm speechless. I'm at a loss for words. I have nothing to say. This is my father's sister. And the minute I would have went off on her, I would have heard everything on earth from my dad. I know I would have. That's why I didn't say nothing. I was just like, I'm just going to block and move on. I'm just going to block and move on. I'm 43 and I used to be a yes person to my family, but I put a stop to that and love my peace that nobody can. Amen. Thank you. That's what I said. Amen. Kudos to you. High five to you because I used to be the same way. I used to be a yes person a long time ago in my 20s. I'm 37 now. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. I don't care about nothing. If I don't want to hear the bullshit, I'm going to tell you. I don't care. If I want to be unbothered, I'm not going to answer the phone. It's like, do you not understand like how many people call my phone every other day besides a couple of my bestest friends that I trust with my life that I've known for years and years. They are the only two exceptions because they're like my sisters. One of them, I've actually known her for 30 plus years. We've known each other since we was babies, kindergarten. We grew up together in my hometown. She can call me in the middle of the night if she wants to because she has that luxury because I allow her to. But she doesn't do that because she has respect. She has boundaries for me. And if it's an emergency, she'll send me a text message. She won't call me in the middle of the night. My other best friend that lives over here, surprisingly, I've only known her since 2020. We've been knowing each other for like 5.5 years. She is the closest thing to family here because she's 2 hours away. And that's the only motherfucker that I trust with my life all the way over here on the East Coast because I have no family members, no relatives over here. All my relatives are down south in Texas and Louisiana, unfortunately. And the closest thing I have to family is my homegirl. That's 2 hours away. And then my homeboy, he's like about 2 hours away as well. He's like a brother to me. We served in the military together. I've been knowing him for like 15 plus years. I trust him with my life. And we still talk to this day and hang out and everything. But does he call me and disturb my peace every goddamn day? No. He might check on me every once in a while and text me, but he has respect. He knows boundaries. That's the point. As long as people earn your respect, know how to respect you, know when not to push your boundaries, that's all that matters. I'm not asking for much here. You know what I mean? Like, I had to learn the hard way because I was that person that'd be like, yeah, call me anytime, or if you need something, don't feel free to ask. You know what? I ain't got shit. Don't ask me for shit. I ain't got it. I don't give out money. I'm gonna tell you why. A long time ago, when I was a stupid person, yes, I was a dummy, and once upon a time, I was manipulated so bad by fake friends that just use me and abuse me for every little nickel and dime in the world because they saw me as a goddamn ATM. Every time we went to the club, who was paying? Me. Every time we went to the restaurant, who was paying? Me. But yeah, it was horrible. Horrible. And to this day, you think you're gonna get a dime out my black ass? Shit. You ain't getting a motherfucking thing out my ass now. I've been so used and abused and sucked up, you can't even squeeze a penny out my ass. You better go look on the ground like the homeless. You better go look on the ground. Whoever is taking care of your aunt should be watching her phone since she's up there. Yeah, I know, and I don't think they watch them. Unfortunately, since she's in that assisted living facility, it's like a nursing home kind of, but they have apartments where they actually pay rent. I don't think anybody has control of her phone, unfortunately. That's why she calls me and as she pleases. That's why I had to block her, because I was just like, she must be off her fucking meds or something, because she ain't ever called me this many times in less than a week. So I was just like, yeah, she got to get blocked. But no, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. People forget all the time. I forget too. But yeah, like, on some real shit though, like, you really gotta put people in their fucking place. You gotta let niggas know, like, look, I understand you going through something. That ain't my problem. You need to talk to somebody, you better talk to a fucking counselor or something, because I am not a mental health counselor. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I have my own goddamn problems. Hell, I'm still waiting in line to see mental health right now because all the shit I've recently been through in here. And I'm still on the waiting list. I haven't seen nobody yet. But all I'm saying is, again, you got to protect your peace. Exactly. I'm not the one. You goddamn right. Because I'm the type of nigga that would be like, look, you need to get the fuck on with that bullshit and take that shit on down the road. I would be like Ray Charles, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you bring your ass no more. That's me, 24/7, because I have too much shit to worry about than to worry about your ass. Because I'm to the point where I'm just like, dude, I love you, but you suck. I'm just like, I love you from a distance, but you suck. That's where I'm at with it right now. What's your sign, if you don't mind me asking? I'm a Scorpio. You know, they always say, Scorpios, y'all are crazy, you got problems, da 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 da. We might be a little crazy, but we are loyal as fuck. If you got the right one on your side, we are hella loyal to the ones we really give a damn about. If we see that you give a damn about us, we will return the favor and we will give a damn about you. But if you see that we're not loyal or you're not loyal, we're not going to do the same shit. We're just going to mimic you and be like, all right, fuck you, and keep walking. People suck so much, I laugh at them. Exactly. That's what I said. I thought I was the only one. What's your sign, if you don't mind me asking you? I'm curious to know. I feel like we have something going on here, like we click in. But, it's just like, now it's like it's given dusty. People are getting so dusty to the point where, oh, you're a Virgo. Oh, okay, that makes sense because you sound like you don't take no shit either. Yeah, you ain't got time for the bullshit. Me either. High five. Shout out to the Virgos out there if you're a Virgo. Shout out to the Pisces too, because we get along very well with Pisces and Virgos. And sometimes Cancers too, but they can be annoying. It just depends. But all the mother signs, nope. But surprisingly, one of my best friends, actually, the ones I mentioned earlier, two of them, they're actually both different signs. The one that lives here, she's a Leo. We don't get along very well with Leo, but surprisingly, me and her get along very well. And then my other best friend is Gemini. Yeah, they're a little out there. I don't at all been through too much. Exactly. Exactly. We all been through too much. I feel like I'm to the point where, we are really walking on thin ice out here. We are really trying to survive. It's all about survival. We are really just trying to get out here, get a bag, and keep it pushing and mind our fucking business and be unbothered. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do here. My aunt a Leo and get on my last nerves but love her. I don't know what her sign is, the crazy one that I had to block. I think she's I want to say she just had a birthday in March. I want to say she might be a Pisces. If I'm not mistaken, she might be a Pisces. I have to look up her birthday. I'm not exactly sure, but she's a cuckoo. I can't deal with her. She's out of there. We really are. That's why we can't deal with other people's bullshit. Exactly. Because, man, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like people out here are on some silly shit. They're just like so goddamn hard-headed. They don't know what no means no. They don't know when to leave your ass alone. It's crazy to me. And I'm just like, if I want to be bothered, I will let you know. I will call you. I will text you if I need somebody to talk to, if I need a shoulder to cry on, which I don't. Because one thing about me, coming from the military and stuff, I have a lot of thick skin. And I have a lot of, patience. But I only have so much patience for stupidity. And when I see it and I sense the bullshit, I leave it alone. I'm very quick and I'm very cutthroat with it because I'm to the point where I'm just like, look, that's nice and all, but that's not my cup of tea. Sorry. It's like, what do you want me to say? Like people out here don't know how to be themselves. Exactly. See, you get it. At least you get it. Look, kudos to you for getting it. Because a lot of people honestly do not get it. They feel like we should all be in one little box. We should all be controlled a certain way. We should all be censored because I feel like we're living in an age where we're all hella censored, especially by elderly people. I don't know what it is with elderly people and young people, but they feel like they could just censor us and talk to us any kind of way. Like, I'm not the one. Because see, what my aunt don't know about me is that, baby, you can get it how you want it. I will unleash on your ass. I will unleash on you. But out of respect for being a relative, especially on my dad's side of the family, I'm not going to unleash on her. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be disrespectful. See, one thing about me is that I've always been taught to be respectful, respect your elders. All right. But at the end of the day, when you come at me with some disrespectful shit, I'm going to return it too at the same token. But she lucky. Like I said, she lucky that she's a relative and she's not, a non-family member. Because if this is a non-family member, I would have cussed her ass the fuck out, laid her out, told her all types of nothings that are not sweet at all, and then blocked her. Because like I said, as much as I wanted to, all I can do is laugh. Like how you said earlier, you said you just laugh. All I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh because it's not worth it. It's like, why? What's the point? What am I getting out of it? It's just useless energy. I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting paid to cuss your ass out. So why would I waste my time and my energy on somebody that's not even all there? I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to be disrespectful. But like I said, I just put it to a stop and block them. And if I want to check on them, all I got to do is call, my dad or whatever, because she always calling him all the time. But outside of her, don't nobody else bother me. That's the hard part because she fam. You can't say or do what you want, so you did right, blocked. Exactly. Thank you. That's what I said because I said as much as I wanted to just say all types of rude things, and I'm talking rude shit. Like I was this close to burning a fuse with her ass. I had to roll back. I had to put my tail between my legs, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna let her go. I'm just gonna block it and let her go. I'm not even gonna say shit. If she wanna get a hold of me, she can call my daddy. She got his number, but I'm still not gonna answer the goddamn phone either. No, because it's just one of those things where I have to really hold my tongue, and it sucks because as many people in my family as I want to unleash and unravel on, like my sister and my brother, who I don't fuck with either, I have to hold my tongue. Unfortunately, I have to hold my tongue because it's like, what's the point? I understand we all got to get along, we're all related, but like they say, blood ain't always thicker than water. Blood ain't always thicker than water. You got people that are way closer to you than your own people. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, they all know that we all love each other. You just have to love them from a distance. I figured that quickly. I just learned early on some things are just better left unsaid. Because baby, if it were up to me, I would probably have 0 ounces of family members left, 0 ounces of support from anybody back home. Because the way I feel and the way I've been wanting to unleash and unravel on a lot of people back home, whew, that's why I moved in silence. When I relocated from Texas to Virginia, I moved in silence. I told nobody. Only people I told were my YouTube community, you guys, and then my closest friends and I trust of my life, like the one that's over here, my homegirl, my homeboy that's over here by DC, and then my other homegirl back home. That's it. Only 3 or 4 motherfuckers knew that I knew I was coming all the way out here. I didn't say nothing to nobody else. I didn't post shit about nothing online. I waited until I got settled when I first landed here at the end of, I want to say January timeframe, early February. Yep. And then that's when I made a little video and said, surprise, I'm now a Virginia resident. Have fun, bitches. Oh, you should have seen the calls, the text messages. I had so many people call me. I had so many people climb out the woodworks who I haven't seen in years on my Facebook, messaging me on Messenger. It's sad. Me too. I pick and choose when I want to deal with some. Exactly. You have to pick and choose because it's going to bother you. It's going to irk you. And then it's going to make you go crazy. You really have to shield yourself from certain family members and even friends. You have to shield yourself. I hate to say it. I love all my friends, but sometimes I have to shield myself from the bullshit and not answer the phone, because I done heard it all. I done been through it all. I really have. But most of the time, it's not even them. It's honestly just family. Family is the worst. I hate to say it. Love them to death. Love my nieces. Love my nephew. Nothing against the kids. The kids are all innocent. They're babies. Except for my brother's kids. They're damn near grown. But the thing I wish, though, to be honest, though, I'm going to be on a serious note. I wish that my siblings were a bit closer to me. I really do. And the reason I say that is because growing up, We've never been close. We've never had a, relationship as siblings. We've never hung out. Nothing. Even when they had children, they got their little families and their little houses and stuff. We've never did anything. And the only time that I would see them, honestly, is once a year, and that'd be the holidays. I would only see my siblings because my mom and them would be like, hey guys, we're gonna have family dinner, for Thanksgiving at the house. If y'all wanna come on through, come on get your plate, baby. You know how black folks are. Come on get your plate, come on through. But that's like the only time I would connect with them. If it wasn't a family holiday function outside of that, I would not have no connections, no phone calls, no text messages, nothing. I'm so serious. And I don't know, maybe it's just something against me. Maybe they don't like my black ass shit. I don't know. I gave up. I stopped searching for answers when I realized nobody gave a fuck about my black ass. And that's okay. I'm just at the point where, like I said, all I can do is love them from a distance and nothing more. Love them from a distance and nothing more. I'm at the point where I'm just like, we are getting too old to be arguing and fighting and shit out here. There's no point. It's just like, for what? And I have nothing to argue or fight about anyway, because, like I said, there's no real relationship. There were no invites to the kids' parties, nothing. And it's really sad. And the one thing I did do, I decided to play Santa before I left Texas last year. I got my nieces a couple of gifts. I got the little baby one, like a little My Little Pony toy. She loved it. And the other one, like a little game, like a little board game. And she liked her little board game too. But outside of that, nothing through the siblings. Absolutely nothing. But yeah, it's crazy how you realize as a grown ass adult who people really want to associate with when they get older. And it's like, but why? Like, what did I do so wrong to the family tree to where the whole family wanted to abandon my black ass? That's how I feel. That's why I said fuck them. I mean, I don't know what I did, honestly. The one thing I will say is that my parents have always been supportive, even though they don't agree with certain things. But the only thing that I can think of, maybe it's my lifestyle. Maybe nobody wants to be around the gay bitch. I don't know. But I'm not loud and proud about it. I'm very private, with my life. But one thing I will say is that, yes, I'm part of the rainbow community. And maybe they have a problem with that because they're very diehard Christian, Baptist, non-denominational. That's how we were raised. And maybe they don't want to see, the faggy. I don't know. Because we can't say the F word, but you know my drift. The FAGs, we have them all in the family. Let's be honest. But I feel like when it comes to certain black families, they can't accept it, and it's sad because once upon a time I dealt with men. Yes, I dated men a long time ago, but as I grew older and wiser and started, exploring, whatever you call it, I came to a conclusion that I don't want to deal with them no more, period. It's not that I'm not attracted to them. I think, especially men, black men, oh, hella attractive. Very, very attractive. Are they my cup of tea now? Fuck no. They're not my cup of tea. Because I'll tell anybody, it's just not my preference. Like the Gen Zers, the new age millennials, it's not my preference. I'm non-binary, whatever they call themselves. But it's just really sad when you just try to be the best at everything you want to do. You try to maintain and put on a show for people and try to impress people. And I learned quickly on It don't matter if they're family or if they're your friends. If they don't like you for who you are, leave them in the dust. There's no reason to impress anybody that's not impressed with your bullshit. Period. Look, period. You know how they say on social media? Period. But at the end of the day, I just feel like if you can't accept me for who I am, then I can't help you. You know, we're all grown. I don't know what else to tell you, you know? But like I said, I'm at peace and I'm just glad that I can actually move on and move forward with my life and not hold any grudges against people, because that's another thing I never understood about people. Why do people hold grudges against certain people? Why? It's not healthy to hold a grudge. It's not healthy to hold in something that you've been holding on to for years, even if it's over some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, I never understood it. But you'd be surprised, there are people in their 50s and 60s and 70s still holding a grudge over Nene and Pookie and Ray Ray because they got mad over a spades game or a dominoes game and they don't fuck with them, blah, blah, blah. You'd be surprised how many people are still holding grudges in 2025. See, one thing about me, I don't hold shit in. I'm not holding a grudge against nobody. I have no reason to hold a grudge. It's like, for what? You know? But anyway, it is almost, what, 11:30? I've been on here for a solid hour. And all of y'all have left me, so I guess that's my cue to get off alive. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, I'm going to do a little recap before I go. Was I wrong or nah for blocking my aunt, who constantly called me, left me strange voicemails that I've never heard of ever? They're as long as like 3 to 5 minutes a piece. Within the same week, back to back, left me crazy comments, talking to me crazy, yelling at me, thinking I'm sending her videos when I never sent her videos, and I shared them simply on my page. But because she's friends with me, she didn't understand how notifications work. Every time a friend posts, you're going to get a notification on Facebook. And then on top of that, stalking me in the messenger, sending me random private messages, responding to stories or reels on my Facebook stories and shit. And that's why I'd be like, fuck Facebook, because nobody really talks to me on that bitch anyway. What's the fucking purpose? I might as well just delete the motherfucker and stick to Instagram. At this point, I feel like, what's the purpose of having a Facebook page? All it is old ass biddies, people arguing with family members and friends, people trying to compete with other people, people being nosy, people leaving long ass essays and all sorts of nonsense. For what? I don't know. Maybe they're looking for attention. Hell, who knows? But when it comes to Instagram, Instagram is chill, quiet, laid back. Nobody ever bothers me. I might get a DM or two for, random friends sending me funny memes. It's chill. Nobody ever says shit to me on Instagram. TikTok, same thing. TikTok, I get a lot of spam messages from spam, accounts with fake ass Lenny Kravitz accounts and shit. And like, just random strange men telling me how beautiful I am and if I'm single or if I'm married. I get a lot of strange messages from men on TikTok, and I just block them and move on. I never even respond. Block, delete, block, delete. But the whole point is, I'm just like, you gotta get it together. I can't help you. I can't fix crazy. That's the moral of the story. If you can't fix it, block it. If you see someone is clearly cuckoo and not in their right mind, block them and move on. That's all you got to do. I'm at the point where I'm just like, to each his own. I wish you well from far away. I love you, but I'm not dealing with you. I'm just not. And I don't have the energy to get mad at you nor scream at you because I'm getting too old. I have my own problems, you know? Oh, and by the way, before I go, because I know I said I gotta go, I have 3 more minutes and it's almost 11:30. I actually got a call yesterday from the surgeon at the VA hospital, and the surgeon's office told me that they can actually squeeze me in sometime next week for this lovely procedure, which is a DNC. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's just a small, non-invasive procedure where women get like their uterus fixed or whatever when they have like heavy, painful periods and stuff. I know it's TMI, but I'm gonna have a small, non-invasive procedure. So all I ask for you guys is just to pray for me. I'm not gonna do it next week though because my homegirl said she's not gonna be able to come get me because she has her own doctor's appointment that same day. So I'm gonna have to reschedule for a later date. Plus, I don't want to start this procedure right away because I think I'm about to go back to work. I don't know yet. Fingers crossed. I have an interview tomorrow. Wish me luck. It's just sales, in case you're wondering. Nothing fancy, just sales for like a automotive company. Yay. Sales consultant. But anyway, wish me luck. I have a lot going on, as you can tell. And all I ask is that you pray for me. Just keep me lifted in prayer, keep me lifted in spirit, and I will do the same. I will return the favor. But I'm going to go now. It is time to go to bed. All of y'all have gone. Y'all have left anyway. So y'all have a good night. If you're watching this, catch the replay. Show me some replay love. Like I said, drop a comment. Tell me your thoughts below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.